Let me ask you something very simple, and I want you to answer it honestly in your own mind. When was the last time you climbed a flight of stairs without holding the railing? Without stopping halfway? Without that quiet fear in your chest that your legs might give out? For many people I meet in my clinic, the moment they realize something has changed isn't during a dramatic fall or a hospital visit. It's on the stairs. A place you've used your whole life suddenly feels like a mountain. Each step becomes a calculation. Will my knee hurt? Will I lose my balance? Will I have to pretend I'm just catching my breath so no one notices? I've had patients in their 60s, 70s, even early 80s look at me with embarrassment in their eyes and say, "Doctor, I'm fine." Except for stairs. And that "except" carries a lot of weight, because stairs aren't just stairs. They represent independence, visiting friends, carrying laundry, going to bed at night without fear. When stairs become hard, life quietly starts to shrink. Now here's the part that usually surprises them. The problem is rarely just age. It's rarely bad genes, and it's almost never that you're beyond help. In fact, after years as a surgeon watching bodies recover from injuries far more severe than sore knees or weak legs, I can tell you this with confidence. Most people struggle on stairs because they are missing strength in just a few very specific places. Not 10 exercises. Not an hour at the gym. Just a small set of movements that tell your body, "Yes, I remember how to do this." I remember one woman, Margaret, 72 years old. She told me she avoided going upstairs at her daughter's house because she didn't want her grandchildren to see her struggle. She said, "I don't want them to remember me as the grandma who can climb stairs." That sentence stayed with me, because what she needed wasn't motivation or pain pills or fancy equipment. She needed the right kind of movement, done consistently, in a way that felt safe and doable. If you stay with me until the end of this video, I'm going to walk you through the only 5 exercises I recommend to help you climb stairs more easily. These are the same types of movements I explain to patients after surgery, when their confidence is shaken and their legs feel unreliable. I'll explain why these exercises work, what mistakes to avoid, and how to do them in a way that respects your joints instead of punishing them. And most importantly, I'll show you how these simple actions can bring back something many people think is gone forever: trust in your own body. Now, I want to be very clear about something early on, because this matters. This is not about pushing through pain. Pain is information, not a challenge to defeat. And this is not about becoming an athlete. This is about being able to step up one stair at a time with calm confidence. There's a big difference. If you've ever felt that tightness in your knee, that weakness in your thigh, or that shaky moment when you lift your foot and your body hesitates, you're exactly who this is for. Here's another thing people don't talk about enough. When stairs feel hard, the body starts to compensate in unhealthy ways. You lean forward too much. You pull with your arms. You rush because standing on one leg feels scary. Over time, those habits can actually make things worse, not better. But the good news is, the body is incredibly adaptable, even later in life, especially when you give it clear, simple signals. In a moment, I'll explain what's really happening inside your legs and hips when stairs become difficult, and why walking alone often isn't enough to fix it. That part alone is an eye-opener for many people. But before we get there, I want you to know this. Nothing I'm about to share requires special machines, expensive memberships, or youthful flexibility. These movements are grounded in how the human body was designed to move. As you listen, I want you to picture your own staircase. The one at home, or at a friend's house, or at your place of worship. Imagine stepping up without bracing yourself, without that quiet worry. That image matters, because your nervous system listens to your thoughts more than you realize. And throughout this video, I'll keep coming back to one question that is more important than strength alone. Do you feel safe moving your body? Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why these 5 exercises work together, and how they can change the way you move through your day. And if you've ever told yourself, "This is just how it is now," I gently invite you to keep listening. That story may not be finished yet. Before I explain the exercises themselves, we need to talk about what is really going on inside your body when stairs start to feel difficult. Because once you understand this, everything else will make sense, and fear starts to loosen its grip. Most people assume stairs are hard because of weak knees. Knees get all the blame. But in my years of surgical training and patient recovery, I've learned that the knee is usually the victim, not the culprit. When you climb stairs, your knee is caught in the middle of a conversation between your hips, your thighs, your calves, and your balance system. If any one of those stops doing its job properly, the knee is forced to absorb stress it was never meant to handle alone. That's when pain shows up. That's when weakness shows up. And that's when people start avoiding stairs, which unfortunately makes the problem worse. Here's something that surprises many of my patients. Walking on flat ground, even if you do it every day, does not fully prepare your body for stairs. Walking is mostly a forward motion. Stair climbing is a lifting motion. It requires you to support your full body weight on one leg while the other leg steps up. That single leg support phase is where most people feel unstable. And it's also where confidence disappears. Think of it like this. If your thigh muscles, especially the front and side of your thighs, aren't strong enough, your body will look for shortcuts. It might shift your weight forward. It might push off the back foot too aggressively. Or it might rely heavily on the railing. These compensations feel helpful in the moment, but over time they teach your nervous system that stairs are dangerous. And once your nervous system believes that, it tightens muscles, limits movement, and drains energy faster. That's why you can feel exhausted after just a few steps. Now let's clear up a common myth I hear all the time. People say, I am afraid to exercise because I don't want to wear out my joints. I understand that fear. But the truth is, joints are nourished by movement. They don't like extremes, but they absolutely suffer from neglect. Gentle, controlled strength tells your joints that they are supported. That support reduces pain, not increases it. Another myth is that you need to exercise hard to see results. That idea has discouraged more people than it has helped. Your muscles respond best to consistency, not intensity. Especially after 60, small signals repeated often rebuild strength and coordination in a way that feels natural. This is exactly how we help patients relearn movement after surgery. We don't overwhelm the system. We remind it. I once worked with a man named Robert, 68 years old, who insisted he was too far gone to improve. He had stopped using his stairs entirely and moved his bedroom downstairs. When we tested his strength, it wasn't catastrophic. It was uneven. One side was weaker. His hips weren't engaging properly. And his balance had quietly declined because he was avoiding challenge. Within weeks of addressing those specific issues, his confidence returned before his strength fully did. That's an important point. The brain often regains trust before the muscles fully catch up. Stair climbing also demands coordination between muscles that don't get much attention in daily life. The muscles on the side of your hips, for example, act like stabilizers. They keep your pelvis level when you stand on one leg. When they're weak, your body wobbles. That wobble feels like danger, even if you don't consciously notice it. So your body stiffens, and stiffness makes stairs harder, not easier. Breathing also plays a role. Many people hold their breath on stairs without realizing it. That increases tension and fatigue. Calm, steady breathing sends a message of safety to your nervous system. That's why some people feel better just slowing down and exhaling fully before stepping up. It's not weakness. It's physiology. Here's the big takeaway I want you to remember before we move on. Difficulty with stairs is not a single problem. It's a pattern. And patterns can be changed. The 5 exercises I'm going to share work together to address strength, balance, coordination, and confidence. Not separately. Together. That's why they're so effective, and that's why you don't need dozens of movements cluttering your routine. In the next part, I'll start walking you through how to support your body day to day, what habits quietly sabotage stair strength, and how to use simple movements and daily choices to rebuild ease and stability. This is where things become practical and reassuring, especially if you've been afraid of doing the wrong thing. Now let's talk about what you can actually do, starting today, to make stairs feel easier and safer again. And I want you to listen to this part with a sense of kindness toward your body, not urgency, not pressure. The body responds best when it feels supported, not judged. The first thing I tell patients is this: your daily habits matter just as much as any exercise. How you stand up from a chair, how long you sit without moving, how you carry yourself when you're tired. All of these either help your legs remember their job or slowly teach them to forget it. One of the most powerful habits you can build is standing up from a chair without using your hands, even if it's just once or twice a day at first. This movement closely mimics stair climbing. It trains your thighs and hips to lift your body weight in a controlled way. If it feels too hard, you can start by using your hands lightly, then gradually rely on them less. The goal is not perfection. The goal is sending a clear message to your muscles: you are needed. Another daily habit that makes a big difference is how you step. Many people rush stairs because they feel unstable, but rushing actually increases the load on your joints. Slow, deliberate steps give your muscles time to engage. Think about placing your whole foot on the step, not just the toes. That simple change alone can reduce knee strain and improve balance. Now let's talk about the exercises themselves, without turning this into something complicated. The first key movement is controlled step-ups. This can be done on a low step, even the bottom stair in your home. You step up with one foot, straighten that leg fully, then slowly step back down. What matters here is control, not speed. This teaches your body how to accept weight on one leg, which is exactly what stairs demand. Even a few repetitions done calmly can be enough. The second important movement is a supported squat, like sitting down and standing up from a chair slowly. This strengthens the front of your thighs and your hips together. If you feel pressure in your knees, it often means your hips aren't helping enough. Focus on pushing through your heels and keeping your chest tall. Your body learns through repetition, not force. The third exercise many people overlook is heel raises. Standing while holding onto a counter or chair, slowly lift your heels off the ground and then lower them just as slowly. Your calves play a huge role in stabilizing you on stairs, especially when stepping down. Weak calves can make you feel unsteady even if your thighs are strong. The fourth movement focuses on balance. Simply standing on one leg while holding on to something for safety, even for 10 or 20 seconds, can dramatically improve stair confidence over time. Balance isn't just about muscles. It's about teaching your brain that you are safe on one leg. That lesson transfers directly to stairs. The fifth and final movement is gentle hip strengthening, often done by moving one leg slightly out to the side while standing tall and holding support. This targets the muscles that keep your pelvis steady. When these muscles wake up, that side-to-side wobble on stairs starts to disappear. Now, a few important warnings. Do not exercise through sharp pain. Discomfort is okay. Sharp pain is not, and don't try to do everything at once. More is not better. Consistency is better. 5 to 10 minutes a day, most days of the week, is far more effective than one long session that leaves you sore and discouraged. Diet and hydration also matter more than people realize. Muscles need protein to repair and maintain strength. You don't need supplements or extreme diets. Just make sure you're including a source of protein at each meal. Hydration keeps your joints lubricated and your muscles functioning smoothly. Many people feel weaker simply because they're slightly dehydrated. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people stopping movement on bad days. Those are often the days you need gentle movement the most. The goal isn't to push. It's to remind your body that movement is safe, even when it feels a little stiff. As you practice these habits and movements, something subtle but powerful happens. You start trusting your legs again. That trust changes how you move before strength even fully returns. And that's when stairs stop feeling like an enemy and start feeling like a normal part of life again. In the final part, I want to talk directly to that part of you that's been afraid, discouraged, or quietly grieving the ease you used to have. Because hope is not a cliche in medicine. It's a measurable force. I want you to take a quiet moment with me now, because this last part isn't really about exercises. It's about what it means to feel capable in your own body again. I've seen many people regain strength, but what truly changes their lives is the moment they stop doubting every step. There's a patient I still think about often. He told me, "Doctor, I don't mind going up the stairs. It's coming down that scares me." That fear is deeply human. Going down requires trust. Trust that your leg will hold you. Trust that your balance will catch you. Trust that your body remembers what to do. When that trust is shaken, life becomes smaller. People avoid visits. They avoid travel. They avoid parts of their own homes. But here's the truth I want you to hear clearly. The body does not forget how to climb stairs. It simply stops practicing the right parts of the movement. And when you give it those signals again, gently and consistently, it responds. Not overnight. Not dramatically, but reliably. Every time you do one of these simple movements, you're not just strengthening muscle. You're retraining your nervous system. You're telling your brain, "This is safe. I've got this." That message is powerful. I've seen people walk differently after just a few weeks. Not because they suddenly became stronger, but because they became calmer in their movement. Calm movement is efficient movement. If you're listening to this and thinking, "I wish I had started sooner," Let me stop you right there. The best time to start is now, because now is when your body is listening. Age does not disqualify you from improvement. Fear does, and fear fades when it's met with understanding and action. Stairs will never demand perfection. They ask for balance, coordination, and strength working together in harmony. The 5 exercises you've learned are not random. They're a conversation with your body. One that says, I trust you, and I'm willing to show up for you. When you show up consistently, your body meets you there. I want you to imagine a moment in the near future. You reach a staircase, and instead of hesitating, instead of gripping the railing with worry, you take the first step calmly. Not because you forced yourself, but because it feels normal again. That moment is not wishful thinking, it's the result of small, steady choices. If this message resonated with you, if you felt seen or reassured, I invite you to stay connected. Like this video so others who need it can find it. Subscribe if you want more guidance rooted in care, not fear. And if you feel comfortable, leave a comment sharing your experience with stairs. You may be surprised how many people feel the same way quietly. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of your body. It's been taking care of you for a long time.